Welcome, everybody, to the newest episode of the Bronx Muchachos podcast, brought to you by 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight we got with us the fearsome twosome of Danny.
What's good, everybody?
And, of course, Alex.
Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
Actually, they're going to probably lose.
And for a Yankee podcast. Yo, everyone knows the deal. Rate, subscribe, like, review, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Odyssey, Amazon. You know all the spots you can get us at. And don't forget, go to our link tree with link.tree/Real Bronx Muchachos for any and all deals we got going on. Spring training's coming around the corner, so get your gears, get your hotels set up, get all that everything ready for the new season. New season's on the horizon, and of course, we are still dealing with issues from the past season, namely our good friend Frankie Montas. The shoulder is still not right. Going to be missing the first month of the season. Alex, what do you think? What do you think of all this?
Well, I kind of now feel like Dave. I wish Dave was here because I think he has the right way to feel about this one. Because this trade was dog doo-doo. That is all I'm going to say.
It's really frustrating because Oakland really put us in a bind again with the starting pitcher. I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated that Montas can't stay healthy because when he's healthy, he's a top 20 pitcher in baseball. He's definitely top 10 in the American League, and he's an ace type of dude.
He needs an IV of ibuprofen in him so that way he doesn't get inflammation. That's what he needs.
Something. And the thing is, shoulders are so tricky. They've been tricky forever. Doctors can't figure it out. Doctors have the elbows down pat with the UCL and, giving it rest or whatever the case may be. But shoulders, for the longest time, are just super tricky. And I wish there was some more investigating into the shoulder before the trade. And I think that's where the Yankees are kind of looking to see perhaps try to recoup some of the talent in that trade because there wasn't enough information passed on from Oakland to the Yankees about the shoulder. So that'll be interesting to see if that even becomes something that's a reality. But in the short term, it's tough. Yep. It's really tough. Yep.
Or it could be even worse because it could be like what San Diego did with the Marlins. The Marlins sent over a bunch of prospects. I forget who the Marlins got back, but the guy blew out his elbow with the first outing he had, and then the Marlins sitting there going, we were never even told like it was this bad, like his elbow was this bad, and he kept on and he would tell the Marlins, I've been telling San Diego for months now my elbow's been hurting me. To come to find out, San Diego had 2 sets of documents, one that they would show everybody and one that they kept internal. And funny enough to bring this, that was a deal that the Marlins got back Luis Castillo just to turn around and send him to the Reds for Matt Latos of all people. So,
God.
Dave's chiming in on the chat. He goes, he was trading for Montas was as bad of a trade since trading for Gallo. The pieces that were sent to Oakland could have been gone for Brian Reynolds. I don't know.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong though. He's still not wrong.
He's not wrong, but it depends on what's going on. What would be sent over there. I would have thought. To be honest with you, I think that the pieces that we kept instead of going for Montas probably could have been for Varsho instead. Mm-hmm. Like one of those two, maybe Medina and Waldichuk would have went down to Arizona instead of going over. That's my thoughts. Instead of going over to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't think Waldichuk and Medina would have beat Gabby Moreno. Because remember, guys, Gabby Moreno is a top 3 prospect in all of baseball. Like he's the Blue Jays' top prospect.
Yeah. I'm sorry, not Pipeline, but MLB. Baseball America just came out with their top 100. I think they put Moreno as number 11 or 13 or something like that.
And Waldichuk and Medina are combined are not going to beat that.
Oh no!
So,
Well, I mean, Medina's not even on a top 100. I mean, he's lost
Yeah.
all value altogether because he can't find the strike zone. Waldichuk, yeah, I mean, Pipeline has him as the second best left-handed prospect in baseball.
Yep.
behind Kyle Harrison with the
Mhm.
Giants, and if you guys have seen video on him, he's disgusting. He kind of has a weird motion, but sidewinder, nasty slider. Anyway, but I don't think we could have gotten Varsho. I don't think that was the best deal that they could have gotten, and there's no way we could have even came close to matching it. Now Reynolds, depending because they want a starting pitcher, they want starting pitching prospects because they got none. They got like Mitch Keller and who else? I don't even know who was starting pitching prospects in the Pirate system.
I'll find out in a second. Hold on.
Yeah,
And
But you keep going down that road for a second.
And
Yeah.
for everybody that's listening, just so you know, David is also chiming in saying, and not only that though, what really sets him off is why did you trade for a guy who was injured? Caps, everybody, caps. And it's like not exactly the smartest move to make. And yeah, we all agree with that right now. Like in this situation, we do not think that was the smartest move. Like, yeah,
but it was the right move to make at the time, despite his injury.
yes,
without knowing the severity of it.
100%, 100%. Now, see, like what
Yeah.
I'm hoping is that there is a possibility that the Yankees can do something and get something back from that, because like this is ridiculous that if he has an injury that it comes out that he has this injury that has been hidden for this long and they finally get caught about it. I mean, like, bro, give us back all the chalk. like let's be real. Like
It's gonna be tough to get it. It's gonna be either between Medina or Waldichuk, and I mean,
I don't see the A's giving Waldichuk back.
I can't.
If they're forced to,
they
that's
might
what
be
I'm
forced to
saying.
be. They might be forced to, because Sears was the MLB ready guy that they took, was the number one.
Mm-hmm.
I think like that might be where the case may be. It's like, all right, well, you got someone who's MLB ready. Waldichuk's knocking on the door. Medina is not where it's supposed to be. You got to give us back the bigger piece, which is Waldichuk, and then anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, Montas was a nice consolation prize when not getting Castillo, because the price tag for Castillo was way too high, and and it would be nice. I mean, listen, no matter what happens, this is Frankie Montas' walk year anyway, so he's got to prove it any which way, shape, or form. So he's gonna.
True.
I'd rather him be injured right now and miss the first month, where it's not going to hurt as bad, as opposed to being injured August, September, where it then becomes more detrimental to what we're trying to do.
100%. And also, like, it's funny how these things work. Rodon, I don't think we never spoke about Rodon during the regular season. We were like, oh yeah, he's a nice like guy that we think we could get, but I don't think any of us realistically thought that we had even a chance at Carlos Rodon. So to have him in our rotation now, as opposed to like a Luis Castillo, it kind of worked out. It kind of worked out in that sense, because Volpe and Peraza would have both been in Cincinnati while we had Castillo. So was Castillo going to help us win the playoffs? I don't know. I don't think so. Not this year.
I mean that's Astros got to our pitching pretty well too. Anything could have been possible at that point. But our problem why we didn't move on and we got swept was because
our
offense was dreadful, and the offense there's no big changes to the offense right now. I mean,
and that kind of scares me.
Well, I mean, the only things you really see that hasn't moved yet is there's a new shortstop. That's it. The entire offense is back to where it has come back. So that, I think, Cashman works in the shadows. He's always worked in the shadows. Whether you like the trades, don't like the trades, I always feel like Cashman is damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. He's been damned for all those years that he didn't make a deal whenever all the other teams were. Then he starts dealing, and everyone gets all mad that he's trading prospects. He's hoarding all the prospects, then he's giving them all away. So, he made an attempt to get Frankie Montas and got another back end reliever for it. It was Montas is injured. We didn't see all this coming. It happens, man. It happens. I mean, we made the deal for Sonny Gray, but nobody thought that Sonny Gray couldn't acclimate himself to New York either.
Nope.
And nobody, at that time, the Yankees didn't have all the high speed cameras, didn't have all the high tech gadgets that he was used to. So that was also possibly part of the problem that Sonny Gray had.
If Sonny Gray was a Yankee now, he'd be a lot better because we have the tools, like you said.
Yeah.
And he was searching for it. He wanted it. And Larry Rothschild was like, "Bro, I'm ancient. I don't know anything about that." Like
Larry Rothschild was staying away from fastball, telling everyone to throw junk pitch, throw the changeup, throw the slider, throw the curveball, throw all these pitches, which was not what Sonny Gray was about. Sonny Gray was working off the fastball, which is why Larry Rothschild was gone before Cole came here. Because guess what, Matt Blake is sitting there going, no, take that four seamer and let's run with this. You know, I mean, the top three guys that we have in our rotation are fastball heavy, and we're talking triple digit fastballs. So,
but that's also the writing on the wall, like what Major League pitching went towards anyway. Like it legitimately went towards the fastball over the whole let's start playing with the corners and being a finesse pitcher. It's moved more towards the evolution of
high octane.
Exactly, or maybe whatever you want to say, like evolution or going back into the past. It's one way or the other. It's something that happens. The next cycle is going to be back to the finesse pitching, but right now, Rothschild, your finessing is not going to work it.
And it's funny you guys say that because the two depth pieces that we have behind Montas are not like the high octane dudes that we like to see. We got Domingo Germán, who's fastball, sinker, curve, changeup, and then Clarke Schmidt, who's like slider. Oh, here's a four seam, slider. So it'll be interesting to see how these two compete for that fifth spot coming out of spring.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you think that let's ask this question then also. Do you think there's a dark horse in this? Is it only going to be Montas? I'm sorry, not Montas. Is it only going to be Germán and Schmidt, or are we going to have somebody else coming? Is it somebody else? One of our prospects coming up?
Clayton Beeter had a really good season at AA. He never really got stretched out past 5 innings, but that's mostly due to what the Dodgers did to him and what they were planning on using with him. But if Clayton Beeter has a really good spring and really shows out, he's got great stuff. Fastball, upper 90s fastball, slider. So we'll see what can happen with him potentially. You may have to make some roster moves because I don't think he's on the 40-man, but that'll be an interesting pick. Or the other kid Warren. Will
Warren, yeah.
Will Warren, yeah. So those two, those would be the guys that I think could be knocking on the door next.
I got a name for you. How about Yandris Gomez? He's got a high octane fastball. He's on the 40-man roster. Yankees love him just like they love Johnny Brito also. I mean, those are two names right there and Brito's has been in I think he went to AAA last year. So I'm looking up the stats for Yandris Gomez. Gomez last year was in Yandris Gomez went to AA last year. He had a 3.86 ERA. It was 4 games started. He didn't have too many pitch. He didn't pitch too much. I mean, he's 16 innings. He had 19 strikeouts and 6 walks with a 230 average against a whip of 1.22. So I mean, that's not bad. I mean, that's in AA, and that's not bad. And we've all talked about how our AA team is going to be sick this year, but that's where AA is where you prove it. If you make it in AA, you can at least make it to the big leagues. So I kind of think like I know what you're saying. I like Will Warren. I think Will Warren's the back of the rotation kind of guy, which fits fine for the number 5. I think Beeter gets another year in the minors this year just to clean up a lot of the stuff that was going on. Because like you said, the Dodgers had him. Dodgers did something different with them. They made him bulk up a lot too. So they made him like they had him in the weight room too much, and then it was just nothing was working for him. So they got Yankees got to him, and then they kind of they're reassessing and they're breaking him down and building him back up. I think Brito and Gomez are kind of your dark horses that will come out. But I do think that it's a 2-horse race between Schmidt and Germán. But
100%.
you know,
I'm gonna give you some stats on.
Yeah, go for it. I was going to say the dark horse. Those are two dark horses. That's all I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. And Clinton Beater in 7 games.
I think we lost Danny.
I think we lost Danny also.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had to step out, recording live, everybody. So I had a kid screaming in the other room. I had to run for that. Someone had a little night terror.
Little nightmare.
Little night terror going on. Yeah.
My bad. So Clinton Beater, 25 in the third innings in 7 games started, 41 strikeouts. So that's pretty good. 14.6 K per 9, and that's in AA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I never liked Gomez. I think I've told you guys this before because he's been stuck in single A for such a long time. He can't seem to get healthy and stay healthy. So, for me, that's a hard guy to say, like, oh yeah, perhaps. Randy Vasquez, he's on the 25-man. He's on the 40-man roster. 25 starts in AA, 115 innings pitched. 120 Ks, so 1.2 whip. He's an interesting dude, but none of these guys really excite me. Besides what we've seen in Schmidt and Germán, like those two dudes are definitely leading that race right now.
Oh yeah, no, it's a two-person race, but you never know. Spring training, someone might there's an injury that could happen around the corner as well, and then you really have to think who's number 3, number 4, number 5. Especially that Luis Gil isn't going to be available until the end of the year, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of think of who next man up. Who are some of the next guys up? Well, Warren, Beater, Gomez, Brito. Those are 4 names that come off real fast.
Mark, let's also not be shocked about any of that kind of stuff happening. Like spring training, it happens, and the season is a very long season. Like it's not like it's a short season. So I would rather it be in the beginning of this season than it be in the middle or ending of the season. So
who would you prefer making more starts in April, Germán or Schmidt?
I'm kind of down for I'd let Germán ride. He in 2019, like he was pitching well. For all intents and purposes, he became the ace of the staff in 2019.
Yeah, he did.
Before he self-imploded, before he imploded himself on what was going on, but like
let's not go and touch that one.
No, we're not. No, we're not going to go down that road. But he's also got hit by the injury bug, and he's never regained that form. Mm-hmm. I think if he comes in there and he kind of gets that and kind of pushes forward, he might have a chance, and that also might give us something later on to move him as well, to get some other pieces later on, especially if we're looking at Beater and Warren as possible replacements. Or Frankie Montas makes his way back. There's a lot of things that can move around. At some point, there's going to be a roster crunch too. You know what I mean?
I wonder if Montas becomes a trade chip, because do we see him being a playoff type of dude as our 5th starter? We don't need 5 starters in the playoffs.
No, but that's nice. But he can let it fly coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, we're talking 99 to 100 for sure.
Exactly, and then he used that splitter, devastating splitter. As long as he gets it back, now you're talking something even better. And then he could be a long man out of the bullpen too.
Mm-hmm.
Like say Nestor Cortez can't. He piggybacks with Nestor, make sure that he's on point for that. Nestor can only go makes it only 4, or somebody makes it 4. Boom, he's the first guy in.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to see that going on next season. When we get to playoff time, I don't want to hear about 5 innings on it. You get ready. Be ready for 7 innings. Everybody.
Stay ready to be ready, man. Remember that.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just ready for the season to start. Like, I'm ready to start watching baseball every day again. and just kind of forget about like real life and be like, oh man, baseball every day. Be concerned about
I will
balls
forget
and
about real life
strikes.
on Saturday.
I'm just so ready, man. Jeez, so ready.
Be watching baseball in the pool.
Yeah, jeez, something, anything.
Danny's tired of being over here, being on like an ESPN Classics or an MLB Network, watching everything that happened like 25 years ago.
He's on the Yes Network watching Yankees classics there.
Yo, it comes in clutch, man. You get that itch, man. Just throw on some Yankee classics. Put on nothing from this postseason because this postseason was terrible. I think this is like, despite us winning in that first round, this is such a weird postseason. Like, even with us having a series in the Bronx and even how that ended, it wasn't like, okay, like we beat Cleveland. Oh, okay, we're supposed to beat Cleveland, right? That's what everybody's thinking. But to get beat the way we did by Houston it's like, man, it just leaves a real sour taste. So I haven't looked at any of those highlights.
There's no highlights to look at for there. But going back to Alex, going back to your point, Dave wrote in. He wrote down. He goes, "We need to start pitching like a championship team. No more of this 4 or 5 inning outings for the starters. 6 2/3 to 7s from every starter."
It's like for real, man. Like
That's the goal.
I'll give it to the first month and a half, 2 months. Work your way up there. But by the time we get to the All-Star break, if you're not already doing 7 innings, like on a normal, we in trouble.
I want to go back. I want to throw it back to where, the 90s Yankees, right? All they had to do was win. They had to be winning by the end of the 6th inning. Mm-hmm. Starters can get you 6 innings. You got a bullpen that can take care of it all. That's all. That's what I'm looking for. Give me 6 strong, and then anything else is icing on the cake. But give me 6 strong. Give me 2 runs. Everyone can give me 2 runs in 6 innings, 10 Ks because everyone can strike everyone. Cole's a strikeout pitcher, Rodon's a strikeout pitcher, Sevy's a strikeout pitcher. Mm-hmm. Give me 10 Ks. I mean, it's a wrap at that point. That's my feeling on it all. But yeah, I want to shift gears for a quick second here because something I touched on before. Danny kind of commented as well, which is about the offense and how there hasn't been any real changes to the offense. John Fernandez agreed with us 6 innings would be great. John, you're 100% right. I'm all down for 6 innings. I think if we can get 6 from every single starter, including our number 5, done deal. Don't care. I think that'd be it, and it saves the bullpen for playoffs because I think that's we talk about problems with Boone a lot of times, and this is not a Boone trashing segment here, but he's quick to the trigger to go to the bullpen, and the bullpens get burned out real fast by him. I think that's one thing he hasn't gotten the feel for yet.
Well, we need Clay Holmes to be Clay Holmes again. We need Johnny Lasagna to be second half Johnny Lasagna.
Yeah, he needs to be back in the kitchen making lasagnas. That's what he needs to do right now.
Mike King needs to come back. Just those 3 dudes at the back end, man, it's game over with just those 3. And we have the dudes to do it. Rodon, like you already pointed out, Rodon, Sevy, Cole, Nestor, those are all 4 dudes, and they could be aces on most teams. So I'm ready to go, man. Let's toss, bro. Let's have some catch. Let's get the arms ready, man. Jeez.
Danny, if you live close to me, man, we'll just go outside. We'll have a play catch for a little while. Just get you warmed up, man. Yeah. But before we switched over to staying on this topic, something like I said, something I was mention quickly. Something you're just still disappointed, Danny, was the offense has pretty much stayed the same as stagnant. Obviously, the only changes that we can see out there at this present moment are it's Peraza's job to lose at shortstop. I honestly don't care what anybody says. It's not Volpe's job to win. It's not Volpe has to have batting has to be perfect in every aspect in order to beat Peraza out. And I don't think that's going to happen. And that's nothing against Volpe. I just think that Peraza was already played there. and can get the job, and will get the job first and
I
foremost.
can't wait for Boone to ruin your just to like break your heart and make it IKF just to piss you off.
Oh, I don't think Danny wants to be on that pod when that happens.
I join in. I'm like, what is this guy thinking? What did he do this off season? What was he like? What drugs was he on?
I don't know.
What did IKF do for him? What did IKF see Aaron Boone do during the offseason? That's what would be my question.
Oh, IKF had to have some pictures on Boone. That's all that had to be. But left field has always been left field's. You know, we've all talked about left field, and still left field's always been is kind of this black hole right now. But the rumors out there are the Yankees are circling the wagons. They're talking. They're still thinking about Jurickson Profar. And Jurickson Profar is looking for a 5-year, $65 million contract. That's what I hear. And what are your thoughts? I mean, considering that the fact we have Hicks for 3 years and about $30 million still, you got Cabrera, who I still believe his best options is not an everyday player at left, but to kind of rotate around, especially that left field was not one of his better positions. He could play right field really well, but left, he wasn't really playing that much outfield to begin in the minor leagues, and he could play a bunch of spots on the infield. Why not use his versatility more than keeping him in one spot in the outfield? Why not Jurickson Profar, who played 140, I believe it was 146 games, has can spray, doesn't have the power, but can spray the ball all over the field, low strikeout rate, high walk rate, high contact rate, gets on base, has a little bit of speed too. For the new way of baseball is coming. It's not a bad thought to kind of step in, kind of take a look at what if you can get him for a little bit cheaper.
I am not going 5 years for Jurickson Profar.
I'm just saying that's what he's looking for. It doesn't mean he gets it. That's what he's looking for.
And he will keep looking until February or March when some team decides, like, oh yeah, let's dive into those waters. So there's pros and cons for Profar. The pros, you already mentioned a bunch of them. The power will be 20 plus, around 20 plus homers at Yankee Stadium. From the left side, he's a switch hitter. From the left side, he's a pull hitter. The cons in left field in San Diego, he had a -5 defensive run saved. Okay, we don't need a dude that's going to give us just barely average offense and then below defense and left, right? With Hicks, hopefully he could be big league average. That's all we're asking for Aaron Hicks. Can he be big league average in 2023, right? Offensively. Defensively, he's going to be okay. You're not going to be too concerned about Hicks in left field. But offensively, are you going to be is he going to be able to be big league average? Over the past 2 years, right, in 2021 and 2022, our left fielders runs created plus was 87 and 89, respectively. So that's 11% and 12% or whatever it is below league average. So if we could just get league average offense from one of those players, whether it be Aaron Hicks, whether it be Cabrera, we're not going to need a guy like Profar because of the dudes we got coming up. And we said this a couple weeks ago, so I'm not going to be a dead horse, but we got dudes coming up, and left field is where one of them is going to be.
Alex, what do you want? What do you think about all that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't trust Hicks. I don't like the deal. I don't like the idea of like spending that much for him either. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not like, at the trash can behind Yankee Stadium smoking crack or anything like that. So like, nah. Like,
it's always got that reserve, man.
I'm good, man.
Take a spot.
I don't want it. Don't want it. Like it's dumb, but yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if Hicks did good. I mean, like, I deep down, I do like Hicks. Like I do like him, but if he does what he's been doing for the past few seasons, like I just can't. I wasn't even for him last season. I was one of the main people, like pitchforks and everything to get him out. Like I still wouldn't mind trading Hicks, but you know what? It is what it is at this point right now. Like I do not know what's going to happen from here till the beginning of the season. None of us do. So if he's gone, he's gone. It is what it is. But if it comes out that he stay there, just do your job, bro. Like don't let the pressure of being a Yankee get to you anymore. Like, bro, you've been in it long enough. You actually knew how to do good at one point in time. Do good. Just do average. I'm not even gonna ask for you to like, oh my gosh, be the all-star. I need you to be making an all-star game and be a start. I'm not even asking that. I'm just asking, be average, get contact, get on base, do something when you're on base. That's it.
So no 30-30 for Hicks this year?
No, you're smoking crack too.
No.
Dude, no, he said last year he was gonna be a 30-30 guy.
Let him feel what he wants to feel. But you know what I want? I want a man who's just gonna make some damn contact, get on base, and do some damage on the bases. Oh, that's it. Okay. I want him to be out there in left field, do some average defense. I'm not even gonna ask for you to be like, oh my gosh, all-star defense. No. Get to the ball, catch the angles right, and get the ball second base or third base in time. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. Done. I don't even want to see you throw a ball to home plate. I don't even want to see it. Just go as close as you can. Get a relay, man.
So all right, so here's the question then. Would everybody be happy with Hicks as a starting left fielder come for opening day?
No. Still no.
Happy wouldn't be my word. I'd be
disappointed.
I'd be cautiously optimistic. But then again, I'm an optimistic dude. So I would be cautiously optimistic that Aaron Hicks could be big league average in 2023. All right. And in 19 and 20 with Hicks, right? The average wasn't there. But 325 on base while hitting 235 in 2019, and then a 379 on base hitting 225. So if you could get on base and provide some power, like all he has to do is slug around 415, 420, he'll be okay. Like what this past year, slugging 313 is not going to cut it.
No.
All right, it's not going to cut it. So in 2019 and 2020, he had OPS plus of 103 and 122. So he was 3% better in 2019 and 22% better in 2020, albeit in 59 and 54 games respectively. So it's in there for him to be just okay.
Average.
And that's all we need.
Do you think, or let's flip this then. Do you guys think he'll have a better year this year than he did last year? And I preference this by saying this. Last year was his first year back from having the torn sheath in his wrist, where that usually saps all your power. And the first year back is kind of like, is really a crapshoot. So now that's another year removed, it's kind of like Tommy John. It's removed. You should be feeling a hell of all better. Do you? No, I'm not, and I'm not saying that he's going to be. I'm not. You know, the 30-30 joke was a thing I said was a big joke, but we're talking maybe 15 to 20 home runs, 70 ribbies, especially with this offense. 70 ribbies is not out of the question. Hitting, if he keeps pull power and without a shift now.
Mark, I'll be realistic with you, bro. Like if it happens, I'm happy, but I'm not going to put my expectations at that level. I'm going to put my expectations at a very average, that like he's doing what he has to do. Just do your job right now. It's at the end of the year. If that happens, well, we just got Aaron Hicks back. If he didn't, well, hopefully not surprised. Hopefully by trade deadline, somebody wanted him for some reason. I don't know.
All right. If I just put numbers on this for Aaron Hicks, 250 batting average, right? If he gets on base at a 350 plus clip, that'll be great. 10 to 15 homers. I don't see 20 for him, even without the shift or anything like that. Maybe that frees him up a bit, but 10 to 15 homers, 10 bags, and provide – just keep the line moving in the middle of the lineup. Now, another guy that I'm concerned about offensively, who he had a great postseason, 5 homers, tied with Reggie Jackson for second most in Yankees playoff history, Harrison Bader. He's never been a dude offensively. Never, ever. Not once in his life. So if we have two black holes in the outfield, then it becomes a problem.
Oh, if we get 2 black holes in the outfield.
And Aaron Judge is not going to be there to save us every day like he did last year. We have to get that out of our mind. Like, Aaron Judge in 2022 is a once-in-a-lifetime season. We're never, ever going to see that ever again.
Nope.
So the Yankees are in real trouble this upcoming year offensively. Like, do we even think Harrison Bader is going to hit 20 homers this year?
I don't think he's going to hit like that. Well, here's the thing. Is he fully past the plantar fasciitis, or do you think that, or, is that going to pop up again?
Plantar fasciitis is not really like a thing that ever goes away, right? Like, he kind of always got to manage it. Yeah, so he's got to manage it, and if he figures out a way to manage it, he had a really good postseason. So that gives me hope, but at the same time, I'm just
ends a contract year for him too.
And he's at home for a whole year. So maybe all those things combined, him wanting to get the bag, him wanting to show that he could be an impact player, not just a defensive whiz. Maybe it all comes together this year for a guy like Bader.
Maybe
we see like a 280 and a 15 homers and 70 to 75 RBIs or 80 RBIs.
I never know.
And he's at a Busch Stadium, so that's another thing. Because Busch Stadium is a tavern.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Unless you're doing steroids.
Yeah.
Those are no-nos.
Shout out
Those
to
are
Marky.
no-nos.
Yeah. Marky McGuire.
28. He's 28. Career 250 batting average. What's Bader's best year? Best year: 16 homers, 50 RBIs, 267 batting average, OPS plus of 114. That's the best Harrison Bader's ever done, and that was in 2021. If he matches that, are you happy? 103 games played, 400 at bats.
I'd be satisfied.
If he does that from the 9-hole, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have a bunch of 9-hole hitters. We have Aaron Hicks, who's a 9-hole hitter. Harrison Bader, who debatably 9-hole hitter. Jose Trevino, a 9-hole hitter. We don't know what Peraza is.
Well, he should be at the 9-hole just until he proves himself.
Yep.
Dave, I want you to hold this off for next week because I want you to defend yourself when you come on, Dave. Because you're right about Donaldson should ride, but I'm sorry, defensively, I want Donaldson at third base. Like, do I hate what he does do I hate what Donaldson does at bat? Yes. But do I hate what he did at third base? No. So to say that you want LeMahieu at third base over Donaldson, I want to know. You better have a good reasoning next week, bro, because that's kind of ridiculous. Defensively, I don't want that.
Well, DJ did win the Gold Glove for utility players.
Yeah.
So you're not losing much defensively.
I don't.
At third.
You're not, but DJ's another year older, and
exactly
the range is range is beginning to shorten up. So I think he needs to find more of a home as opposed to being an all over the place kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Especially when you have guys like Cabrera out there who can do all that. As long as IKF is on this team, he can do all that stuff too. So he can play the second short, third, throw him in the outfield for a little bit. Like we got enough of those guys that can do a little bit of everything. We need some solid guys that be in certain spots. So
I feel like with this lineup, there's too much pressure on Judge, Stanton, and Rizzo to provide power and everything, because everybody else is just mediocre offensively. Like, I'm excited to see IKF in a new role. I don't want to see him every day, and I'm so thankful that potentially that could be the case.
It's funny though, Danny. Like the more we get closer to spring training, the more I'm starting to think like Mark is right that there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know. That something's gonna happen because like, when was the last time that anyone could really remember like from 1 to 9 same team? Like, let's be real. Like, not one piece difference. Come on.
Yeah. There has to be something going on.
There has to be something that's going to change. We can't have everything the same from last year to this year.
It's not going to be on Brian Reynolds, though.
No, I don't want Brian Reynolds. I'm done. I'm off the train of Brian Reynolds. I'm tired of the talk of Brian Reynolds. He's gonna, Pittsburgh's overplaying their hand because they don't want to deal him. If that's going to be the case, to go for a Juan Soto type thing for a guy who's not Juan Soto, I can keep two of my guys who potentially can be astronomically better than what he is right now, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with keeping a couple prospects that will help reset the stupid salary cap that's in baseball, that you can control for 6 years or so, and they can get their bag, and we can control and give them their bag to stay here for their entire careers. And that's 2 out of the 4 guys of Peraza, Wells, Dominguez, obviously, and Volpe. So I'm good. Brian Reynolds can kick rocks and he can stay down in Pittsburgh. If we're talking getting Ian Happ, and I know that Ian Happ's not on the trade market, but I think that at some point he's going to be out there. Then I'll look at a piece to give up for an Ian Happ, because I think he in a short term is going to be better. It can work well and as a stopgap. But other than that, man, I'm done with all that. If I think that there's obviously going to be a deal or 2 deals that are going to happen. Maybe it's going to be with the Marlins. We've already had they already had those talks. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I forget who there was. They had somebody else in mind. The Marlins. It was Glaber and it was somebody else. I thought it was Hicks. I heard the rumor it was originally Hicks and Glaber that were going to go for Rojas and Pablo Lopez. And the Marlins at the last minute, they changed it up. They said, no, we want Peraza instead. And that's whenever it's like, nope, done. So I think there's going to be deals to be made. I think
don't even talk about the Marlins right now. The Marlins had you last night in our group chat talking about how Chapman.
I told you guys that. Yep, they had. Someone had me on that one.
That's a funny one. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Exactly.
And that's another time, another place for that one.
Yeah.
But
the thing with the Marlins deal is that it would be for pitching, and we shouldn't be giving up offense right now. Okay. And Glaber, there's a lot of pressure on Glaber to be like good, and DJ. Like, can we even? And Donaldson needs to be so much better. The fact that Donaldson was miserable last year, and the fact that the Yankees believe in him this year, does anybody here believe in Josh Donaldson? I don't know, man. I don't believe.
Let me
defensively, wait. Yes. At bat, no.
Do you think that they believe him just like they believe in IKF, which could be there to just bring up trade value, to say, okay, we do believe in him, so you got to, if we're going to talk trades, you got to give us something a little more. But I think that one's for another time, another place also.
Yeah.
We're
going to have to talk about this on a complete, this content guys for the future.
This will be a future one, especially down the road, especially after spring, after pitchers and catchers come in, after we kind of get to hear all the everything that's going on, in starting next month, which will be fun times.
Woohoo! Let's go. Oh man, get my arm ready, man. Arm care.
Yeah, because we got Danny going. He's starting up, Yeah.
I will start my throwing program soon.
He's that that secret call up that they have going on.
81 and 84. All right, nice changeup and a good curveball. All right, that's our scouting report.
Dude, I need to get my arm care going. I gotta start pitching to all the 4 to 6 year olds I coach.
Oh, what? You better wear a cup, bro.
Dude.
And with that, ladies,
we do this. They have the softball.
I think it's time, guys.
No, we went off the rails. That was our final segment for tonight. So listen, everybody, thanks for listening tonight. Everybody who listens all over the country, all over the world, thank you very much. Latin America has been doing lovely for us. Don't forget, rate, subscribe, like, review, all that good stuff.
Hey, Mark, hold up right quick, okay? Let's do our boy Scott from B3. Wishes you got, buddy. Lumbar fusion in two days ago. Hope everything's doing better.
Oh,
amen. Wish you all the
Scotty
best,
Fryer.
brother. So everyone wish Scotty Fryer. Hit him up on Twitter, Facebook. Hit the B3 guys up and let them know that you care about them. Let you thinking about them. For Dave, who couldn't be with us but was chatting away, Manny in the background keeping our sounds going. Danny, Alex, this is Mark. Muchachos out.
Adios.